Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Neo Spotlight. This is for Mad Games Tycoon. This is a game I actually absolutely adore. If you're very much into simulation games, which I am, I love simulation games. I might actually end up playing more on the Spotlight channel, and I don't know if this would actually become a series or not. So, well, the simulation games. The Neo Spotlight's a series. That's what I mean, but. If you guys want to watch me like build a city or try to run a games company outside of one episode, that would be great. Anyway, this is Mad Games Tycoon. This is sort of like a game that came out. Well, not sort of. It's a game simulation where you run your own game company, very similarly to Game Dev Tycoon, but with a more in-depth approach. Where Game Dev Tycoon was more simplistic in that regard, because it was trying to be like a spiritual successor to Game Dev Story that's on Android and iOS, which I believe that there is a Game Dev Story that was originally for PC, but it's in Japanese and there's not a full translation for it, and it's hard as hell to find the translation anyway, at least for me. Anyway, let's go ahead and start with the Mad Games Tycoon. Now we gotta pick a player name and a company name, your gender. We're gonna go male, or not female. We're gonna go male. Just gonna put my name for Neo. We can choose a company logo. They have a bunch of parody logos, which I claim isn't really a parody. It's there. They got Pony. You got the L, the Rockstar logo, but with an L. 40 Realms. You got Sega. You got Buzzer Entertainment. And then you got generic icons at the bottom if you don't want to actually be a parody. Like I think this is a parody of Valve, the way it's written. So, let's go ahead and pick our logo. Our logo is going to be something like a 4-leaf clover. And you can pick your country, meaning you get a sales bonus in that particular country, which I've played 21 hours of this and I can't get past about 15 years because I always start in 1980. I don't want to start in 2000 or anything, because you don't. As far as I'm aware, you don't get more money. You don't get anything. You just start later on, and I'm assuming it's going to be harder. But it also tells you which genres are most popular in that country. Like, for example, USA gets you a 5% sales bonus, but they're also specialized in first-person shooters. So more likely in the US, for your first-person shooter games would do the best, even if they're not that great. Now you got other stuff like this, where Poland, for example, 5% sales bonus, but third-person shooter is pretty good in Poland. Korea is arcade. Brazil would be platformer. Though you don't pay attention to this too much because you have to pay attention to trending. Let's just make it USA. You can change the game settings. You can start with a small office building to disable the tutorial, random concepts, unlock all features. We're not going to do that. We're just going to disable the tutorial because I know how to play, for the most part. Now, a company names. We're four-leaf clover. We should do a company name. Company name's something, I don't know, let's see. Getting Lucky Tonight Games. That's got a nice ring to it, don't you think? The GLTG. And now here's where you can make your specialization, which, since you start out so basic, I usually specialize in basic stuff like ASCII text support, or 256 color, cutscenes, 16 color. I usually go with ASCII because ASCII text support is the first thing you get. And now you can specialize in the skills. Like, well, genres, skills. I said skills because skill is right here. But let's see. Arcade. Usually arcade is available. You get 5 points to spend. And this is your default. Your work will is 50%. I'm assuming this is about 30, and this is probably about like 15 or 20. I usually just end up doing this, just evening it out. That way it's probably about 25 now. That's probably 10%. Now it's about 20, 30, and then 50. And I usually go for standard speed. And I always start at 1980. And I always do normal. Oh, this is taking a moment. There we go. Welcome to Mad Games Tycoon. Initially, many functions are disabled, but with time, more and more features are unlocked. Have fun. Have fun running a business. One thing that I do for a tip, if anybody wants a tip, is that I always pause immediately when I start my games. That way I can set stuff up and time has not passed. You start off with $100,000. 0 fans, 0, I think this is quality. Yeah, office quality. 0% with reputation, and 0 to 21 unlocks. You start off with a small garage, which gives you your little head office here. You can put in an employee or yourself here, since you are the, owner and adult. So, and you got the head office, which you can buy engines from other developers. You can buy dev kits, so you can make sure you can do more console development or PC development for different types of PCs. You get licenses eventually, copy protection. You can get publishing offers, which I've never unlocked. I've unlocked all of this except for publishing offers, because I think you need at least $1 million in cash, and every time I've got to $1 million, it's because of a bank loan, and that doesn't count. You have to earn that $1 million, which is really hard, especially starting out in 1980. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is you do development, because you need a little area for at least 2 people to create games. What I did here, usually, for the most part, for most of my games, I would put a little thing here. I would put the level 1 desk. I would try to position it so I could have more than one, but I don't think this is big enough to have more than one. It is not. So, if you run into that problem, let's go ahead and do this. You can click on here. You can change the room size. And you have to click and drag, but you have to make it slightly bigger. So like that, it's a 3x4 now. Then you place the door back down. Now you can pick this up, since I had that turned on. You can disable that, but I don't like doing it. Nope, wrong thing. You want to go back into here to desks. And now I can fit 2 desks in here. The reason why I don't immediately jump to the level 3, because it is a bigger desk. And I would need more than a 3x4 in order to actually do that. But here's the thing. The difference between the desks is that the better the desk, the faster the speed is. But right now, speed isn't that much of a priority. And since I'm playing with unlocks enabled, these are all locked down. If I said unlock everything, I'd be able to do whatever I want with this. But I like playing a game as is meant to be played with progression. Now we got toilets. Believe it or not, your employees will get mad if you don't give them a proper bathroom. Like, I gotta take a shit and I don't have a bathroom. Just kind of a problem. But what I typically do is that I do not give the best to my employees initially. I give them very mediocre things. Okay. Over here. It's kind of like, this is kind of a mix of The Sims meets Game Dev Tycoon. Which put you over here. Because you have to drag and put them in here, because the way that the layout is, it's not exactly 3D, it's more of a isometric 2D that gives the resemblance of a 3D shape. And it's just getting lucky tonight games over here with the 4-leaf clover. You got the toilet. And graphic studio. Over here you get to hire staff. And what we want, and what you can do, is that you can check what type of things are recommended for the particular room. If you click on staff, like here, you want game design, you want programming, you want graphics, and you want music and sound. So right now, I am pretty across the board at 20. I am pretty even. So hiring staff, we probably want somebody with a fairly good game design. So at this point, that would be Chantel Grantquist. So select her, hire. We put that. This can tell you who you hired, and it tells you up here the categories of the people you hired. 2 people in general, 2 people with game design essentially and programming ability. Don't have anybody that specializes in anything else. But right now, that's not really the case. That, well, those might not be specialties. Those might actually be like a room count. That's why they're 0. now since the game's still paused. Like, if you notice that, like, status, like, conditions and stuff, like, I'm saying like a lot, I'm sorry. Weather is what I'm trying to say. Weather ends up still happening, but time is basically stopped. I don't know why the weather still goes. Here with development, you can make develop a game, contract work, develop new engine once you research a feature. Sequel and remaster, you have to get at least 170% to pass, and I've gotten lucky before where one of my first 3 games have been a 70, so I unlock this immediately. Or you can do support development. So if you have multiple development research areas, or development areas, that you can actually have one area support the other if the other is not doing anything, which in this game you almost cannot have a development area not do anything. You can do updates and language packs, MMO add-ons, which I've never unlocked either because I've never gotten that far. You can develop a language pack if you only release something with English, for example. Then you can develop language pack if, like, if you get a fan letter saying that, hey, we want more languages. You can develop a patch to fix bugs before you get quality assistance, or you can just develop an update, basically DLC. Sorry, I'm a little bit sick. So we're gonna make our first game here. I know I'm basically been going on a little bit of a tangent with a tutorial for most of this, but still, let's go. Conspiracies, quiz show, or transportation. We're gonna go with conspiracies. We're gonna go. It's gonna be retail because we do MMO or free to play, but we have not unlocked those yet. Retail, game size B. Others have not been unlocked yet. B is the first size, where AAA is the max. You select your target audience. You get to be children, teenager, adults, seniors, or all ages, and see how they progressively get more and more sad. That's just like real life. Once you're a senior, you're actually pretty upset, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, let's make our first game for, not really all ages, let's make it for adults, because it's going to be conspiracies. You can do a subtopic, quiz show, transportation. Let's do conspiracies, transportation. It doesn't make any sense, but I don't care. And right now, the green and red mean this is popular, this is trending. This is unpopular. Don't do it unless you are absolutely brave. And up here tells you the main genre of the last games you made. Basically telling you all that. This tells you your origin country. This tells you the sale bonus. But this is basically trying to explain how this game works. But yeah, we're gonna move on. Okay, you almost always start without an engine, which it says it's best for skill anyway. Most engines in this game have a specific state. Have a specific genre that they say that they're best for, but you can use engines for anything. Now, the only platform we can develop for right now is the PC. Now, we're making a transportation conspiracy game, so let's go with this, and let's see, the skill game. So we're gonna go with gameplay is gonna get priority because you need to go left or right for priority. We're going to go game length for priority. We're going to go functions for priority. We're going to go depth for priority. And we're going to go core gamer for priority. Now, this is where you can choose what you can allocate. You can also choose to do all these languages, but look, this is more expensive than what I currently have. So we're just going to do English for now. And what we can do is here is, like, since it is a relatively simple game, graphics could be toned down to about 15. Sounds could be about 20. Technology could be about 30. And then put 35 for here for gameplay. And since we're not doing an engine, we only have ASCII text support and we have PC speaker sound. So you just hit yes. I forgot to name it. Whoops. Development report, you can just go ahead and switch it. So the name for this genre for the skill conspiracies transportation is going to be let's see, conspirator. I don't know, I couldn't think of anything really interesting for a title. You can go normal speed, which I normally don't. I normally always go max speed so I can get this done the fastest. Then I'll switch it back to normal speed for release and see how it does. I used to always play with super speed on, but that ended up making me like kind of die really fast with the company. Conspirator, the work on this game have been completed. I didn't realize that that wasn't proper English. You can release your game now. If you would like to continue on the game, you can move the release date and bring it to market at a later time. Do you wish to publish the game now? Yes. Normally, when you have quality assistance unlocked, which might not be for a little while, I usually go about maybe 10 or 15 games before I'm able to. You would want to release it immediately, because you don't unlock quality assistance unless you have a ton of bugs, which right now we have none. And quality assistance, once that's unlocked, you want to wait for releasing a game that you finish and have quality assistance work on the game and remove the bugs or improve. Because the improvements here are also quality assurance, but unfortunately they are not unlocked right now. Now we find a publisher, we need to get a market strength, and the best thing to do, we're skill. So we want to do you can go by relation, fan base, you can go by share. By share, like they have the most share. Fan base we want to go by. You mainly want to go by fan base because you want to have the fan base for your game as long as it's available. So we got skill, we got I-Grames. Share, $6, market strength, 1 star. Relation goes up more you use them. And you get a level up. You get up to level 3, and as long as this goes up and if this maxes out, it's supposed to be easier for you to do stuff. But as I learned from trying to experiment with myself, getting high scores is based on random chance. You can do everything perfectly and still get a horrible score. This also would tell you if you have games that have the same genre or the same theme. If there are games on the market that are very similar to it, they can actually affect your score. So unfortunately, that is also a thing. But if it's 0-0, usually it's pretty decent. But let's see how we did. Okay, game. I'm trying to see how we did. Thank you for saying your first game is completed. You could be at the research area. Cool. Let's see. The graphics look really good. There isn't much to complain about. The sound is well done. It's all around solid with not much to complain about. The controls are very good. The game controls well. A little bit of redundant there, Mr. Reviewer. Although the game has gameplay weaknesses, but one can live with it. The game isn't too bad, but it could definitely use some improvement. Good graphics, good sound, genre on the trend, and for a very first game, that wasn't bad. Everything but the gameplay had at least an 80%, so if this was focused on more, we probably would have already had the sequel thing unlocked, because this is very close to 70. Okay, so let's go ahead and see. See, it's over here. It's making some money. I'm only $8 grand in the hole, meaning about one more week, and I'll actually make a profit off it. But now we can develop another game, and then you can do random name generator, which I never like because none of these random names are stupid, or none of them are good. A lot of them are stupid. I was about to say none of them are stupid. But we could do this. We could do quiz show. Conspiracies. Make it another skill game. No engine. Now it's a quiz show about conspiracies. So let's make it a relatively good title. So you don't know Jack. You don't know conspiracies. And the target audience would be about all ages. Because a quiz show game is usually like rated E for everyone. Now again, we can only do the personal computer. Now these little arrows are recommendations of which way to go. Not necessarily go all the way. It's just be on that side of the beam, which these things are. So let's do that. And if it doesn't show these, they're probably in very good places. So let's go with that. Now the game show with a quiz show, game show, quiz show, whatever, same thing. You want to adjust this for every single genre that you do, because not every genre is going to have the same priority. Like for example, we're going to want graphics and sounds to probably be probably about even with gameplay. I have found keeping it even like this isn't actually a good thing. Some places, some genres want you at 40% here, but 20 at everything else. Or they want you 40% here at 20 at everything else. But what we could do is that we can do this. Put that at 20, put this at 20, and put tech up at 40. And see how that does. We're also going to still only make it English. And this is the basic engine. And now okay, it's already still fast forwarding. I have about 9 fans. And you don't know conspiracy. It's been completed. Do you want to publish the game now? Yep. We have 5 bugs this time instead of 0. And this little star means that we actually have beaten our previous high record of the amount of like graphics that we had in the first game. Now this is another skill, and T2 is the only one here that has a fan base of it, so let's go ahead and pick them. We're gonna get +1 to everything again. Skill is gonna be level 2. Everything's gonna be level 2 except for quiz show. Now 2 have the same genre, because skill, and one of those games is mine, and it's probably another competitor. Second game, now I can buy dev kits, so we can actually do more platforms. So now we can release for 2 platforms, which is supposed to increase your revenue. Now, it went from a 64 to an actually pretty bad score, because this is what this says here. For release date, month 3, week 1 of 1980, you don't know conspiracies. Getting lucky tonight games. T2. The graphics are great. They're the best I've seen in some time. The sound is below average. Hopefully they'll do better next time. The controls are okay. A few tweaks and they would be great. The gameplay is just terrible though. They really should have improved this. A really bad game. Avoid at all costs. Because look at here. We have a 91% of graphics. We have a 56% of sounds and a 62% of control. But the gameplay I needed to focus more on, because that's a 4%. That's a 4%. So this averages out to 24% apparently, because I'm not entirely sure how they do the averaging, but your overall score is 24%, and that is literally 40% worse than what our very first game was. But you do need the research facility in order to unlock more genres and more topics, which I don't know why I keep going to that. I need to make the room first, because you got the research facility, which is the only other one besides toilets that's unlocked right now. What I typically do is that I make a big enough room, and for researchers, I end up trying to have like 2 desks in here. So, because if you hover over this, it says gives a bonus to working speed, so they go a bit faster with the better the desk. But the desk is more expensive, obviously. But right now, we don't need the most expensive desk. We don't need the 3-star desk. We just need a New Hope. Okay, for research, I believe it's game design that they need. Yes, it is game design. So we want a decent person with game design. Well, 2 decent people at this point, because, yeah. Okay, they both have 30, which is not bad for beginning the game. Can I select that, please? Can't, thank you. Now, yeah, now I unlock the staff room, I know. Staff room is gonna be built later. I'm not doing that right now. Okay, now let's see. Let's research a topic. We have 183 topics to search from. The first one is usually agents. We have them research. It costs you some money and some research points, and then he's going to the bathroom. You're gonna be a little pooper, aren't you? A little bit of a pooper. Conspirator has made me a profit of 30k. Okay, it's not bad. Now what we want to do is buy a dev kit. We're only at 25k, so we're not at very good money for starting a business. We go to buy a dev kit. Yeah, what I usually do is I buy the Upple 2, because it's only 5k to develop for, and you can develop up to B+ games on it, which means the first 2 levels of games. Right now it's paused. They're at 46%. So now what we can do is that we can also do contract work. If we need to get extra money, which right now we do need. So let's see if we can do this contract. It doesn't give you a lot of money to do the contracts, but it does give you a decent amount. And look at that. So you don't know conspiracy, since it did so terribly. It was only in stores for 7 weeks. It only sold 1,050 units. I don't know what the difference is between the other game and this game, but it cost 23 grand and it only made 4.2 grand, meaning it's leaving me about 18 grand in the hole, meaning it was not even worth finishing. Which is why we're sitting at about 21 grand right now for the monies. And we managed to finish the contract, which put us up at 26 grand, and now we have a new topic. Now we got agents, and now we can combine agents and conspiracies. Make it for adults. Make it another skill game. And like for agents and conspiracies, we could go like guys in blue. Make it without an engine again, because I still don't have the ability to buy an engine or do an engine. Now, we can do for personal computer, and we can do for Apple II now, which PC, Mac, basically. Now, this is telling me which side that these should be on, which, to do a little bit more of experimentation, let's do it like this. Like they recommend being on that particular side, is what I'm saying. Once again, I'm sick. I do apologize. Now we're going to want to change this around. I want to put that down to 30. Put that up to 25. Now we probably don't want gameplay at 20. We probably want gameplay at 40. Then we could put the rest at 20. Let's see how that fares. Once again, leave it here. Though, if you look that we are going to be going over our budget, and it says I don't have enough money, obviously, that's where the bank comes in. You can borrow money, like right now, let's just borrow 25K, and then the monthly interest, they'll deduct $188 until you can repay the credit. And your maximum credit limit is right now 750K. I could borrow the maximum, but that would raise the monthly interest. Now we do this. And now we can see how the guys in blue are going to go. Now you can research others, which that ends up letting you research, you know, bigger games. The Zyrtec has released the game Catacombs. Okay. We're going to see how this does, and then after that, that will be the end of the video. You guys in blue, it's been completed. There was no records on anything. It's another skill game. But look at here, we don't have one that has a fan base of skill. When that happens, I end up going... I don't know who I picked. Anyway, I end up usually going with the one that has the highest market share or the highest strength. The market strength I would recommend going for if you can't find the fan base. So, because there's a chance that it might just help you. But, see, look, these are level 3 now, level 3. They're maxed out. Agents and Apple II are level 1. Games have the same genres. 1. Okay. Alright, this is a little bit better than our second game, but not as good as our first game. The graphics look pretty good for guys in blue. A little polish could go a long way. The sound is below average. Hopefully they will do better next time. The controls are below average. A little polish and they would be good. The game plays below average. They need to be much better. This game is a train wreck. It's not even worth a look. It's a genre of the trend. Because the only thing that's of high quality here were the visuals. Despite the game looking kind of like this. The gameplay was at 36, basically weakest element. Sound was 53, control was 55. It averages out to 39% for both the PC and the Mac. Unfortunately, that's not good. Now we go back to pause this. We go and save. Okay, and you can look at your stuff here. You can look at your finances, your engines, your publishers, developer. If you develop consoles, platforms, charts, info and history. You can look at the all-time charts, weekly charts. Like, for example, the Catacombs. The Catacombs sold 21K. That's from a different developer, though. It's not from me. Guys in Blue looks like it's the only thing that's been released lately. All-time charts. Right here, since I've only made 3 games. For all time so far, even though you don't know Conspiracies did horribly, It's still number 8. And Conspirator, okay, Conspirator sold 7K more, so yeah, it sold a lot better. But you got the Future, which their stuff sold pretty well, and they had about looks like about a 78. Yep. You get to see that. You could click on it. You could see these generated reports for the NPC companies, which is pretty cool. And I do enjoy this game quite a bit. Now, like I said, now we're at the end of the video. I've already been rambling on too long. But if you guys enjoyed this video, let me know in the comments below if you wouldn't mind seeing a series of me trying to run a company and hoping not to run it into the ground. I might actually do another episode on Game Dev Tycoon. I did that a couple of years ago, but I was very new to this scene, and I was more nervous than I was now, because I actually took the time to explain things in this one, and that's weird. Anyway, I will see you guys in the next video. Just remember to like, comment, and subscribe if you want, and bye-bye.